Jill's waiting to do, but I was slightly concerned that all of you might be looking at Jill's wonderful light feature behind her and going, I wonder where Jill got that, which was the first question I thought when I saw it. So the answer is it came from IKEA, and she thinks it's an absolute bargain. I think it's very nice indeed, Jill. Thank you. Anyway, I won't warble on anymore. Jill will no doubt stimulate us all in why we should be visiting two wonderful destinations in the Mediterranean. So Jill, over to you.
Okay, let me just get the right screen up for you. There we go. Okay, thank you all for joining. I wasn't expecting so many people, so that is great. So as Miles says, I'm going to concentrate on Corsica and Sardinia today. Just to give you a little bit of background about us as a company, the parent company is Serenity Holidays, and we've been operating for over 30 years now, and these are our 5 brands. So as well as Corsican places and Sardinian places, we also have the Gambia experience, Cape Verde experience, and Goa experience. But today we're just talking about Corsican places and Sardinian places. So I just wanted to briefly mention, obviously we've had Boris's announcement, which hopefully means, all being well, you know, we can travel in the summer. I just want to reassure you, because I know there's lots of concerns of, you know, about booking holidays and things. All of our holidays are 100% fully protected. So if, heaven forbid, you know, the government advice changes and you're unable to travel, then we'll offer several options, but one of those will be a full refund. And throughout this whole pandemic, you know, when we've needed to give refunds, we've given them very quickly and had very positive feedback from our customers. So rest assured, we'll look after you, as will Miles Morgan. So just to get you in the mood, I'm just going to play a little video for you, just to whet your appetite. Here we go. Okay, everyone want to go on holiday now? So a bit about Corsican Places then. As a company, we offer the widest collection of properties of any UK operator, and we have a range from hotels, boutique hotels, family-friendly hotels, apartments, residences, villas with pools, small villas, large villas. So we've got a real mix across the island, and they've all been handpicked by us. We also offer the widest choice of flights. So we've got flights from Stansted, Heathrow, Gatwick and Manchester. Unfortunately, we used to have a Bristol flight, and that has now, I think it was dropped a couple of years ago. So just to say, obviously, I think Heathrow or Gatwick would be the best for you to go to, or even Stansted, but there are some really good overnight deals that you can get with hotels at the airports, just to start your holiday a day earlier. Now we can tailor make any holiday that you want. You can do twin centres within Corsica or multi-centres, and you can even do a twin centre with Sardinia. I know Miles mentioned that he did a day trip, I think, from Sardinia to Corsica. But yeah, you can either do it as a day trip, or we can organise so you could do a week on each island. Packages, you can have a package with flights, or if you want to do accommodation only, that's entirely up to you. And then you can have car hire, or some packages come with transfers depending on whether you want to drive or not. We offer walking and cycling holidays, which I'll come to in more detail throughout the presentation. We offer child discounts, and we've got a dedicated resort reps team, they all live on the island, so they've got a huge amount of knowledge, and they're there for as little or as much as you want them. So if you want a reps visit, if you're staying in a villa, you know, you can have one. If you don't want one, you just tell us and they won't come round. But they are really useful to, you know, find out what's going on in the area when you're there, where's the best beaches, that kind of thing. So I'm sure you all know where Corsica and Sardinia are, but I just thought I would show you here. So this is Corsica here. It's 170 kilometers off the French coast and 80 kilometers from Italy. This map just shows you how much bigger Sardinia is from Corsica. And Corsica has miles and miles of beautiful, stunning coastline. They speak French in Corsica, in case you didn't know that. I'm sure you did. And Corsican is also a recognised language as well. The climate in Corsica is a really nice climate. I say nice, I don't really like the word nice, but you know, it doesn't get ridiculously hot in the summer. September's a lovely time to go as well. You know, it's still warm then and a bit quieter. So I should start off by saying in Corsica, it's not your typical commercial destination. You won't find on the streets, you know, cafes selling English breakfasts. You won't find McDonald's. There's no water parks on Corsica. So it's kind of got an exclusive feel because there are a limited amount of flights going into the island, which I rather like, if I'm honest. Now, as I said, there are miles and miles of coastline in Corsica, so there's lots of beautiful bays and things to discover. This is actually a little train called Trinigelu, also known as the Trembler because it rattles a little bit, and it runs from Calvi to Ile Rousse, and it stops at about 15 stations along the way, and they're little bays along the coastline. It runs about 6 or 7 times a day, but it's a really nice little day trip to go off and explore. And if you're staying in Calvi or Ile Rousse, sometimes, you know, we recommend staying there if you don't want to drive, because you do have this train to sort of get you about and explore. So that's a really good thing to do. There's loads of water sports on the island. Cycling has become even more popular since the Tour de France started there a few years ago, and it's just sort of highlighted how spectacular the scenery is there. You do need quite a lot of stamina and determination if you want to climb these mountain roads though, but the views are amazing. And hiking in Corsica is very popular as well. It's home to the famous GR20 hiking route, but that's quite demanding, that one, but there are also lots of other less demanding hiking trails that you can do, suited to all ages, all abilities. And I'll come more on walking holidays later on. Now, nightlife in Corsica is very, very low key. There aren't loads of nightclubs or anything like that. It's very relaxed. It generally revolves around food, my favorite. And there's so many beautiful restaurants in stunning locations. So it's just about enjoying the good food and wine and the surroundings that you're in. And the restaurants are, you know, very family friendly as well. So we've got a map here of the island, and first of all I'm going to take you to this area here, which is La Belang. This is where we've got the most amount of properties here. Now from the airport here to Calvi, you're looking at a 10-minute transfer. From Calvi to Ile Rousse is about half an hour, and this is where that little train runs along. Now, we suggest if you don't like to drive when you're on holiday, then this sort of area is a very good area to opt for, because short transfers, and then you've got everything that you need in Calvi, and the same with Ile Rousse, and then you can sort of go on the train around there. But just to give you an idea of sort of lengths of time it takes to get around the island, if you were going from Calvi to Saint Florent you can easily do that in an hour and a half. So you could go there for the day, coming down here to Corte, again, sort of an hour and 20 minutes. So that's easily doable in a day. I have driven from Bastia all the way down to Porto Vecchio in a day, and this route, you know, it's really easy driving. So if you were to come down here, this is where it gets really slow and windy because it's very mountainous. But the roads over here are tend to be better. So let's go to Labalang then. So we haven't photoshopped this, by the way. That is the colour of the sea. This is Calvi Citadel here. You've got the marina here, and then we've got a lot of properties in this area. You've got the beach there, and then round that headland is you'll eventually come to Il Rus. So that's where the train takes you all the way around there. So this is Calvi Beach with the Citadel in the background, and that's the marina over there. So it's really beautiful. And as I say, in Calvi, you've got restaurants, Citadel, supermarkets, the beach, you've got everything there. So that is a great area if you don't want to drive. Now we have over 130 properties in Corsica, so I'm not going to go through all of the properties in this presentation, but I've just picked out a few. These apartments, La Home, are very, very popular for us. They're studio 1 or 2 bedroom apartments. They're right in the heart of Calvi, immaculate gardens. You can walk to everything, and they come with a transfer, and they're really good value for money. So, and they're adult only as well, no children. Yes. We also have a range of apartments. This apartment is actually in the Citadel. So if you fancied something different, then it's a great location, spectacular views. You've got the rocks of the beach at the bottom of the Citadel, but then you've got, if you want to go to the sandy beach, it's about 900 meters. And then we've also got a range of hotels, as I said, boutique hotels, luxury hotels. This one is a 5-star hotel. It's one of the most stylish in Corsica. It's got a Michelin star restaurant, and you can see how close you are to Calvi. You can walk from here, from this hotel, into Calvi, but on the way back, it's uphill and it's a bit steep. So there is a free shuttle bus that will run you into Calvi. So that's a great choice if you want a bit of luxury. Now, this is the beach at Il Rus, where you get that little train to. Again, a really popular area. It's a really laid-back seaside town. Lots of, you know, it's like a bustling marketplace in the village square. Lots of restaurants and cafes. And we've got lovely apartments and hotels there, which are really popular because of their location. Now I'm going to move you around now to Saint Florent and the northeast, and this is Saint Florent here. Now you would need a car in this area because even though some of the properties are within walking distance to this area, Saint Florent town, to get to the big supermarkets and beaches and things, you would want to have a car. So we're talking now this area here, Saint Florent and the northeast here. This is the CAPS course, and it is 40 kilometres long and 10 kilometres wide. But a lot of people start here and they like to drive. If you like driving and, you know, checking out the scenery, a lot of people like to do this drive from Bastia all around the top to Saint Florent. Because of the roads, it can take about 4 hours to do so, but the scenery is spectacular. It can be a bit windy up here, but if you want to see some coastal scenery, then that is a really, really great drive to do. And there's lots of really lovely little fishing ports and sandy coves up here as well. So Bastia to Saint Florent would take you about 40 minutes to drive there. So this is Saint Florent. This is the marina at Saint Florent. It's a lovely place. I do love people watching. You'll hear me say that a lot, especially when there's lots of yachts involved. But Saint Florent, you've got lots of cafes and restaurants there, plenty of choice to eat out. And this is the beach at San Florent. So you can see now why I say, you know, you would need a car if you're staying over in there. It's not far at all, but to get to the beach, you would need to have a car around here. Now, we've got a whole selection of properties in San Florent. This was one of my favourite hotels, Hotel Arroyo. It's right on the beach. One of the things that I remember about this hotel was when I went into the bathroom, they had Clarins toiletries, which I was very impressed by. But really, really lovely hotel, and you can stroll into San Florent there. If you want something more boutique-y, this is La Demora, which is a 4-star hotel, really romantic, beautiful scenery there, but you would need to have a car to drive into San Florent and the surrounding areas. And if it's a villa holiday you're after, there are some beautiful villas in San Florent. There, a few of them are located on this hillside, so you can see San Florent there. This is L'Anca Bleu. This is one of my favourite villas. It's a premium villa and it is beautiful. And you can just sit out here, enjoy your food and wine and look over the coast. And this is another one on the hillside, Villa Clea as well. So there's a whole range that you can choose from. Central Corsica is a good place if you want to do a day trip from the north. It's only about an hour and a half, or if you want to do a multi-centre and sort of stay in the north and then stay in the centre, that is a good option as well. It's the landscapes here that draw people to Central Corsica. It's beautiful. And because you've got the mountains that run from the tip of the Caps Course right down to the toe of Corsica, but the most spectacular mountains are in this central region. So we're talking here, and you can easily drive down here from San Florent or Corte. So this is Corte. It's the geographical centre of the island. There are lots of fantastic walks around this area for all standards of fitness and enthusiasm. And some give you opportunities to bathe in fresh water pools as well. There's an tourist information centre there, so who can point you in the direction of the best trails and things. It's home to Corsica's only university there. There's a viewing platform which provides really good views of the citadel. And then on the main town, there's one street, which is the main town, and then steps leading up to houses and shops. And it's got a lot of charm here, even though some parts of it are quite dilapidated, but it's one of those places, it's really beautiful. I had a lovely lunch here in Corte. So if you think you'd like to stay, you know, in Central Corsica, we've got a couple of hotels. They're right on this Rostonica River, but this is the one that I loved. All of the rooms overlook this river here, and you can't see it from this photo, but you've got sort of mountains all around. There's a little gate, and you can come down onto this riverbed and sort of, you know, sit on the rocks and enjoy the sunshine, or just sit out here and enjoy a drink. But it's a very modern hotel with a really relaxed atmosphere. And then you would obviously need a car here to drive into Corte, but it's not very far at all, like 5 minutes. But that is a really good choice there. Moving down into L'Extreme Sud. Now, this area has some of the best beaches in Corsica. I mean, all of the beaches in Corsica are beautiful. The water is very, very clear. They're all gently shelving as well. So whether you're with young children or you know, you just don't want to be falling over in the water, then you're safe in Corsica. But you would need a car in this area because it's all quite spread out. So you've got Porto Vecchio here, which is a lovely town. You've got Bonifacio. This is where you can get the ferry over to Sardinia. It's about an hour-long crossing. We can book it for you, or you can, if you're doing a twin centre, or you can go over on a day trip. So this is one of the beaches down south, probably the most famous beach. This is Santa Giulia Beach. You can see how clear the water is. There are several free car parks. It's never a problem to park here, several free car parks nearby. This is actually some of our reservations team at Santa Giulia Beach. I was behind the camera. Notice that we're not in the water because we were working hard, just checking it out, seeing what it's like. But your rep, if you want to know, the best beaches and things, your rep will have insider knowledge to tell you, where the, secret bays are and things. But if you are a beach lover and you want to be right close to the beach, we've got these Santa Giulia apartments that overlook Santa Giulia Beach. You've got shops and things nearby, but again, you would need a car to go to the supermarket. Now, Porto Vecchio, I loved Porto Vecchio. It's a really picturesque old town. The old town is set, this is where I actually took this photo. The old town is set up here on the hilltop, and then you've got a harbour town down there. Now, you can walk from here, from the top down to the bottom, and you can walk back up again, but it's quite steep walking back up. So they've now introduced electric buses, which will take you from the top to the bottom, and they are free. There are loads of places to eat and drink here. I loved it. I love all this old town, little restaurants. The best thing I loved was that a glass of wine was only €2.50, which I thought was really good, especially for quite a touristy place. If you were to go down to the marina, you would pay a lot more, just because of the location. Again, great for people watching. Loads of yachts down below on the marina part of Porto Vecchio, but it's a really, really lovely place to go and to stay. And we've got a selection of hotels and villas in the area, but you would need a car. We've got some really nice hotels that are really quite close, but you just not close enough to walk into Porto Vecchio. Now, this Hotel Pinarello is a 4-star hotel, and this is one of my favourite hotels in Corsica. And we get asked this a lot, people that want a hotel where they've got stuff on the doorstep of the hotel. So here you've got your beach. These are restaurants down here. I had a lovely Caesar salad in this restaurant here overlooking the beach. And it's got a rooftop pool, which I think I've got a photo of. Yes. So children can go to this hotel, can stay at this hotel, but they are only allowed to swim in the pool from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So you're not going to get kids splashing around in there. So you can have a nice, peaceful, relaxing day in the sunshine. Packages with this come with car hire. So you can get out and about, but I really love that hotel. If you want an amazingly luxurious hotel stay, then this is the one to pick. Casa del Mar is a 5-star hotel. If you happen to have a helicopter, your own helicopter, and you want to land that there, it's got its own helipad. This hotel is extremely high spec. All the rooms are modern and minimalist. It's got a Michelin star restaurant, so if you're into your food, then this one is a great one. And this is one that's really close to Porto Vecchio, about 10 minutes drive away, but you would need a car to stay there. But first class facilities, it really is amazing. And Bonifacio then is another place. We've got some hotels there, a really great place. You can just go there for the day. It's a bustling harbour town, and it's got a really impressive citadel. And in the old town, you'll find interesting churches, narrow streets, lots of shops and cafes and things. And there's a clifftop walk that you can do there, and also boat trips that you can go on, because you get the best views of Bonifacio actually from the water. So going on to the Vilinco and the West Coast, this region is the most sort of rugged, I would say. It's been sculpted by the wind and the sea over many years, but so it's got lots of ravines and things like that. We've got about 16 properties in this region, mainly hotels and villas. So you've got this area here, you've got seaside resorts like Portopolo and Campoamoro. There's a lot of history on this side of the coast as well, because this was actually where Napoleon was born, in Ajaccio, and you can actually go there and retrace his footsteps and visit the archaeological site there as well. And lots of pretty hillside villages, Propriano for one there, and Almetto as well. That's just one of the beaches there on the west coast. This is a very popular villa on the west coast, Villa Bermutu, sleeps 4, sells very quickly. You can probably see why, lots of outdoor space there. It's very beautiful. And just to touch on what we include in our villa packages, you know, everything's included so that there are no hidden extras. So you've got your luggage, your car hire, or you've got cots and high chairs if you need to. You've got the rep services there if you need to. So everything's there included. If you are staying in a premium villa, so one from our premium collection, and they are sort of the best of the best in the best locations with the best grounds and facilities, then you will get upgraded car hire, and you'll also get beach towels with your package. If you prefer to do things at your own speed and explore the island, then we do have some self-driving tours that you can choose from. This is just one of them, Corsica Highlights, which is actually a 2-week touring itinerary that will take you around the whole island, and you'll see some of the most beautiful and contrasting scenery of Corsica. And this one is based on 2 people sharing a standard room. So those prices include your car hire and your accommodation as well. But if that's, you know, something that interests you, then talk to the Mars Morgan agents, and they can go through the options. And we've also teamed up with a couple of Corsican walking specialists as well, and we've picked a few self-guided itineraries to include some of the best walking in Corsica. There are different walking itineraries to choose from. Some can be very challenging, so it's important, if you do want to do one, that you pick the right one. This one here, Sea and Mountains, is one of our easier walks. It's been designed so that you can discover some of the most stunning sights, but you're only staying in 2 locations. So you basically do, you stay in Calvi and do a sort of a loop from Calvi and a loop from Corte. So it's kind of 2 circular routes there. But again, if that's something you're interested in, have a chat with your agent, and they'll be able to go through the different options there. So flying into Corsica, as I said, there are only a limited amount of flights, and these, after, you know, several changes due to everything that's happened this year, these are now the flights for 2021. So unfortunately, there isn't one from Bristol. But as I say, if you're prepared to drive a little bit further and have a nice overnight stay in a hotel at the airport, then or an early start and just do the drive. But I tend to like to be at the airport, know that I'm there, and then have an extra day of my holiday. It's become a bit of a thing now for us, even though we're only an hour from Gatwick, where I live, but we still go up the night before, just so that I don't have to worry about traffic or, you know, anything like that. So a couple of common queries that we often get asked is Corsica expensive to eat out? It is more expensive than the UK. Fresh fish in particular can be expensive and is charged by the kilo. But a lot of the restaurants in Corsica have set meals, which can be really good value for money. And you'll see them on the boards as you walk around. But, you know, you can get pizzas relatively cheaply, anything from 10 to 12 euros. And you're probably looking at about 20 euros for a main course. If you're staying in a villa, alfresco dining is a huge part of that. because you end up not spending a great deal more than you would at home. I mean, obviously, if you drink wine like myself, then the bill might be slightly higher because there's lots of good wine in Corsica. But, you know, you can go and buy lots of local delicacies, you know, choose local delicacies and enjoy barbecues and things, because all of our villas have outside spaces and barbecues. So a lot of the time people go out, and during the day maybe go out for lunch, and then in the evening they stay in their villas. Public transport, what's that like in Corsica? Well, we would advise getting a car. If you want to explore, the best way to explore the island is getting a car. In some areas, you know, there is public transport, but in others it's non-existent and can be unreliable. So really, if you want to explore, we'd say get a car. I think I've touched on the driving in Corsica. The roads are pretty good. Obviously, when you're going around the mountains, they become more windy, sometimes narrow in places. But generally, I mean, I'm a bit of a nervous driver, especially when it comes to windy roads and big drops on one side. But I didn't have any problems at all driving around Corsica. So that is all for Corsica. Does anyone have any questions, or should we do questions at the end? No, shall I carry on? Okay, we're going to carry on now and go to Sardinia. So I will just play you a little video just to get you in the mood for Sardinia. Okay, so Sardinian places then, very similar to Corsica in the fact that we have a wide range of properties. Again, you know, hotels, villas, apartments, and we can tailor make your holiday. So you can do multi-centres, twin centres. We offer flight inclusive packages, or you can book accommodation only. Again, packages with car hire or transfers. We've got a really great resort team on the island who all live there. So again, lots of knowledge. There are quite a few hotels in Sardinia that offer free child places or half price child places. So speak to your agent about that. They all kind of differ. There isn't a set one across all the hotels, but have a chat with your agent about that if that's something that you're interested in. So this is Sardinia then, slightly larger than Corsica, only 11 kilometers from Corsica. You can drive from the north to the south in about 3 hours. This road here is actually a dual carriageway, so it is, you know, quick. I've actually been staying in Cagliari and had an early morning flight from Olbia and drove up there, no problem. I actually, well, it's 3 hours. I probably did it in less than that because there wasn't a lot of traffic around, but it's really easy. As is driving, I've also driven down this coast as well. And this is, you know, it's easy. The only thing I found in Sardinia is that sometimes you're, you know, I would be driving and then the road would sort of turn into a bit of a track and there weren't any signs and I'd start panicking that I was on the wrong road, but it always comes good in the end. So 1,800 kilometers of coastline in Sardinia. So again, you're spoilt for choice when it comes to beaches. These are just some of the beaches here in Sardinia. Again, gently shelving, really lovely. A top tip for beaches in Sardinia: if you see cars parked up by the road, by a hedge or something, pull over, have a look, because it generally means that there's a little secret bay there. I learned this after a few days of thinking, what are they all doing there? And then, you know, you'll often find quieter beaches. Lots of water sports in Sardinia at many of the beaches. Nightlife, again, you know, it's all around eating, really, which is great because that's my favorite thing. One of the things about eating in Sardinia, and it took me and my friend a couple of days to work it out, we ordered pasta, which, you know, at home you have a bowl of pasta and that's your dinner. So we ordered pasta and thought, well, that's okay. And it came and it was quite small. And we realized that, you know, in Sardinia, they have, you know, you might have a little pasta course, then you might have a meat course, and then you order your vegetables and things. So it's not just a case of, you know, obviously if you're ordering a pizza, that's all you're going to have. But in a lot of restaurants, you know, if you're ordering things like pasta, it is just a little bit and then you have something else. So it's all about grazing over food throughout the whole evening. They often have in peak summer months, you know, street entertainers and things like that. So there's a really good atmosphere in Sardinia at the restaurants, and the Italian waiters can often be quite entertaining as well. And you can go diving in Sardinia as well. So Sardinia boasts a slightly warmer climate than Corsica because of its location. And in summer, July and August, it can get really hot. I've been there in July and the sand was so hot, you know, you were doing that little dancey thing, trying to get to the water because it was too hot to walk on. The island is renowned for its 6-month summer, which means that the sea can be warm enough for swimming from May to October. So I'm going to take you through the different regions of Sardinia so you can see which one would suit you the most. Now, northeast Sardinia is home to the very famous Costa Smeralda, which is very glamorous. So this is the Costa Smeralda up here. And you've got Porto Cervo. You've probably heard of Porto Cervo. It seems to be where all the footballers' wives head to. A very expensive area, great for people watching. You've got La Maddalena Islands up here. They are a national park and there's 7 major islands, but there are also lots of other little islands and you can get boat trips around there. Santa Teresa is where you get the ferry across to Corsica. And then you've got Canagione, that's a lovely little seaside town there. We've got properties there, which I'll talk about. Golfo Aranci, another really nice area with a beautiful beach. So we've got lots of properties in this area. We've got the most amount of properties in this area, I should say. San Pantaleo, oh, where's that gone? Yeah, San Pantaleo is there. That is a lovely, charming little village set around a little picturesque piazza with these beautiful blossom trees and this church in the background. And they have a weekly market there, which is a really good market. All of our properties in this area, you're about 10-20 minutes away from the beaches, so you'd need a car there. Porto Cervo, as I said, very glamorous, very expensive. If you're going for a drink in Porto Cervo, be prepared to pay sort of double what you would, you know, anywhere else on the island. It's about a 30-minute drive from the airport. Lots of, you know, boutiques, Prada, Gucci. But it's not all glamorous with boutiques. There are some beautiful villages and with a more authentic feel and traditional markets around this area as well. Now, this is one of the, this is actually called the Pink Beach. This is on La Maddalena Islands. You'll find lots of boat trips available to go and visit these islands. And I would highly recommend it if you've got the time, go and do it. You can visit all the islands. You can't go on this island. This island, this one in particular, is protected, but you'll go up to it and you'll be able to take photos of it. And it's actually pink because of the breakage of the tiny shells, the shells of the tiny marine animals on there. Now, the same as Corsica, in Sardinia, we often get asked, you know, where can I go that I can get a transfer to, have a beach, have the restaurants, you know, walking distance to everything. So Baia is one of those areas. This is the beach. We've got a hotel here called Grand Hotel Smeralda. It's all pedestrianised here. So you've got shops and restaurants. There's a water park with about 12 minutes walk away from here. So that's a good area to note down if you want somewhere, you know, with everything there. Just outside of this area, we've got a lovely villa, sleeps 8, huge pool, beautiful views. Another area, I mentioned Canagione. This is a really lovely area. They have a really nice little market there, and there's some fantastic restaurants there. You know, if you know a good restaurant, if people are queuing up outside. And there was a fish restaurant here, and every night we would sort of walk past and think, well, we've got to get in there. So one day we just, right, we're going to queue up, and it didn't take long, and we ate in this beautiful fish restaurant, and it was lovely. This hotel, now I've got a 5-minute video on this hotel, which I'm not going to show you now because we won't have time, but if you do want to see it, then let me know, because this hotel is really luxurious, great location. So you can walk into Canagione, 400 meters from shops and restaurants. It's got gym, health club, sauna. You've got shuttle buses to other beaches. You've got one within walking distance, but they'll take you to other ones if you want. You can do cooking courses, wine tasting. They've even got their own sailing yacht. So you can go and have a romantic dinner on that, or go on a boat trip. It really is a fantastic hotel, and lots of different suites and things, some with their own private pools. So that is a great, really great area, and that's another of my favorite hotels, as is this one as well. In another area, Golfo Aranci, 4-star Gabbiano Azzurro Hotel. This is the beach there. That's the hotel. And in this area, in Golfo Aranci, you've got a number of restaurants, shops, bars, cafes, that kind of thing. And there's another hotel, really lovely hotel there, Villa Margherita as well. So Golfo Aranci, that's another place if you want to be transferred somewhere within walking distance of stuff. That's a good place. So now we are going to go over to Alghero. Now this over here, now you'll have to forgive me for using an out-of-date map because I haven't had a chance to get the designer to amend it. Now there used to be a flight to Alghero, which they've sadly dropped for 2021. So if you do want to stay in this area, then you would need to drive from Olbia. It's only an hour-and-a-half drive. And as I say, the driving is really easy. So if you're happy to drive, then this area is still in the mix for summer holidays this year. Now, this area is very peaceful. Outside of Alghero, it's very peaceful. You've got lots of rolling hills and vineyards. Alghero itself is a medieval city on the seafront. It's got a beautiful historic centre with cobbled streets, lots of restaurants and bars and things to choose from. You can see the sea walls in this photo that surround Alghero. And then you've got beaches just to the north of the city. Now, in a normal world, I would say that this would be a good place to suggest if you don't want to drive. But at the moment for this year, you would need to drive to this area. And this is one of the beaches in Alghero. And if you fancy a little day trip from here, 30 minutes from Alghero, you can see one of the largest marine caves in Italy, which was formed about 2 million years ago. And here you can see underground, you'll see a huge underground lake and a white sandy beach as well. And you can reach that. You can either take the 654 steps down to this cave, or you could get the boat, which is the more comfortable option. And I would definitely be taking the boat. But there are boats that depart daily from the tourist port of Catalan. Now, we've got several villas and hotels in this area as well to choose from, all with lovely outside spaces there. Now, moving down into central Sardinia, this area has got the most spectacular scenery. I was a bit concerned about driving through central Sardinia, but actually, you know, it was fine. You know, it can be quite windy, but I didn't, you know, it didn't worry me so much. The area is full of, you know, beautiful valleys and forests. It's really, really unspoilt. Now, we drove from Olbia down to Oliena here. There's lots of viewpoints along the way. Now, in Oliena, we have the most amazing hotel. It's about an hour and 10 minutes drive down there, easy. Just down on that dual carriageway, and then you come off at Neuro, and then you're you know, it's very short drive off the dual carriageway, and you're only half an hour away from the coast. Now, Hotel Sugolagon in the central Sardinia, if you are going to do a multi-centre trip and you want to do a bit in the north, bit in the middle, bit in the south, I highly, highly recommend this hotel. It's located at the bottom of the Supramonte mountain range, and the scenery is spectacular. The hotel is just oozing with charm and character. That, for example, when you arrive, they give you little homemade truffle chocolates and leave them on your pillow at night. They grow all their own food and produce, and they are most famous for their porcetto, which is pork roasted on juniper wood spits, and people come from all over the island and in some cases all over the world to eat here. They have homemade breads and pastas and wine. It's a great base for exploring the Sardinian countryside. You can do mountain hiking, stargazing, wine tasting, all of that. And there's lots of little secret, what are they called? I was going to say secret bars, but places, you know, where they serve drinks and things around the hotel grounds. So it is really, really lovely, and the food is spectacular. And this is a perfect example of, you know, when I was saying, you know, they bring little dishes, so you sit down, and I think we had pink fizz and some breads on the table, and I'm a sucker for bread anyway. And then they brought you know, a pasta dish, and then you have your meat dish with the vegetables, and the food just kept coming and coming and coming. And then when it gets to desserts, they had a whole room, separate little room that you go in and pick, you know, whatever desserts you want. And all the while, this is me here, this is in the restaurant, and all the while you've got these beautiful views. This is the windows of the restaurant, but there's no glass in them, so you're just overlooking the most incredible scenery. So highly, highly recommend it. Now, 30 minutes from that hotel, and we went to Calaganone. And in Calaganone, there is a little quayside, and there's lots of little kiosks where you can buy different day trips and boat trips, and they will take you out to all of these beautiful bays that you can't access by foot or by car. You can only access them by boat. So we chose to go on one with just 8 people. So it was a little speedboat, and this crazy Italian captain of the ship, who was wearing white Speedos, a white blazer and a captain's hat, and that was it. But he was fantastic. So we chose the smaller option, but you can go on boats that have up to you know, 100 people on them. It's entirely up to you. But you go to these beaches. So this was one of the beaches we went to. This was another one, and the water is like, it was like swimming in a swimming pool. It's so clear, it's so blue, it's just so beautiful. I'd never seen anything like it. So I highly recommend, you know, that as a trip. So that Hotel Sigolagon, and then, you know, driving out to Calaganone and doing one of those boat trips was fantastic and a real highlight for me. Southern Sardinia then, as we get down there, again, everything's more spread out down in this area, so you would need a car. You've got Villa Simius here, where we've got lots of properties. Cagliari is the capital of Sardinia, and you've got Pula and Nora down here as well. So Cagliari is a picturesque old town. So lots of little shopping streets, panoramic terraces. It's very rich in art and history, is our Cagliari. Very beautiful. And wherever you are in Sardinia, you're never far away from an important historical site. Throughout the island, you'll find nuraghi, which are enormous stone towers, which were effectively erected primarily for defence. So they can be found on higher ground near rivers or at the centre of stone villages. So if you love history and the ancient world, then I would suggest visiting the ancient city of Nora. So this photo was taken from there when I visited there. This is one of the most important archaeological sites in Sardinia. And at this particular Nora site, you pay an entrance fee and then you're given a handheld listening device. It's all in English, and you can see the ancient housing districts around the site, the atrium house with its 4 remaining towers, and there's an amphitheatre there as well, plus the baths. So there's lots to see there. So that's a good place to go, and that is in Nora. And that is very close, funnily enough, to the Nora Club Hotel here, which is in Pula. This is a lovely hotel, really quiet. All the rooms sort of are around the pool, but they've got lots of shrubs and greenery in them, so they're quite secluded as well at the same time. And you can walk into Pula from Nora Club Hotel. This hotel doesn't have a restaurant, but there are restaurants within 5 minutes of the hotel, and it does serve snacks till 11 o'clock at night. And this is just a villa in southern Sardinia in Pula that sleeps 4. Now we'll just give you a tip on the villas. For example, if you're just a couple but you fancy staying in a villa, there's nothing to stop you staying in a villa for 4. My parents actually stayed in this villa, just the 2 of them, and they absolutely loved it. They just wanted their own space. They wanted their own pool. They liked driving and going out and about, and this was perfect for them. So even though, you know, the prices are based on 4 people, if you want to go as a couple, then obviously you would pay more because there's only 2 of you, not 4, but it is a possibility. So bear that in mind if you're thinking, oh, well, I can't go to that villa because it sleeps 4. You absolutely can. And the same with, you know, Corsica. This is everything that we include in our villa package holidays. So there's no hidden extras there at all. And these, I'm just flicking through these. These are just some of the other villas that we've got in Sardinia. So there's lots to choose from there. And we offer self-drive touring itineraries in Sardinia. So this is just one of them. So again, if you want your independence and you want to do some exploring, then this might be an option for you. And that takes you to Sugolagon and Calaganone, my favourite places. So you've got slightly more choice in getting to Sardinia. There are actually flights from Bristol to Olbia. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of flights from Gatwick and Heathrow as well, Luton and Manchester, but Bristol is probably your best and easiest best bet. So just some key points about Corsica and Sardinia. Villa arrivals in Sardinia are Saturday to Saturday. In Corsica, they are Sunday to Sunday. Deposits are 20%. You pay your balance 8 weeks before departure. You will receive a comprehensive ticket pack, which I'll just show you in a sec. As I've mentioned before, all of our holidays are ATOL protected, so we give 100% full financial protection. And one thing to mention is, you know, we offer complete price parity. So you're booking through, you know, Miles Morgan, and, you know, our prices are all the same. So don't ever think, oh, maybe I shouldn't book with Miles Morgan because I might get a better deal somewhere else. You won't. It's all the same price, and we, you know, we urge you to book with Mars Morgan, because they know their stuff and they'll look after you. And they can also offer a loyalty discount of £35 per person if you've travelled with us before in the last 3 years. So if you have, mention that to your travel agent, and they will deduct that from your holiday. So this is the ticket pack. You get a proper ticket wallet. So you get to keep that for many years to come. You get a Euro trolley key ring, so you never have to faff around trying to find a euro in the bottom of your purse. You can use that for shopping trolleys or at the airport. You've got proper luggage labels there. You've got a map, and you've also got a guide. Now in that guidebook, it will tell you about all of the different areas of Corsica, the best beaches, restaurants, water sports. You know, there is a lot of information in that guidebook, and as I say, you will have the use of a rep as well, so they'll be able to tell you what festivals are going on, you know, where your bins are if you don't know where to put your bin, you know, all of that sort of stuff. They are there for you. So that is it. I can't even see how long I've talked for, but hopefully I've not gone over time, and hopefully you didn't hear my puppy. I've got a puppy, and I've given her a pig's ear to keep her quiet, and she's just started crying. So sorry about that if you heard that.
Oh, Jill, that was incredibly comprehensive. My crumbs. Excellent. Fantastic. Loads of information. We'll have a few questions in a minute because there's some questions come in and some comments, which is even better. So we'll go for them in a minute. For me, I think the thing that strikes is the size of Corsica, which was a real surprise to me, because you kind of think, oh yeah, it's a small island. It's not. It's really big. So that was the first surprise for me. The second is, you know, I've been to Sardinia. I had a wonderful villa holiday there, and I went to where all the posh people go, Costa Smeralda.
Of course you did.
For a night out. And you are right, never a better place for people watching. Yeah, quite incredible. But like a lot of these places, you know, the real touristy areas are more expensive. But you're right, when we were doing our self-catering and having barbecues and stuff in the evening, supermarkets and stuff were fine. So it's almost classic holiday stuff. Go to the touristy places, you'll pay a bit more money. And certainly for me, one of my favorite things was I took the ferry to Bonifacio, and it was just absolutely brilliant. We went there, we drove to the port, got the ferry across. It was incredibly cheap. As you come in, you see the beautiful houses all on the cliffside as you come in. We had a gorgeous leisurely lunch there and came back again. And it was just absolutely idyllic, I have to say. It was just one of the best days out ever, and so incredibly cheap. So, you know, you can do things at really good price there, and enjoy yourself all in the same thing. It was stunning, brilliant destinations. Let's have a look at the questions. Okay, if we want to do self-catering and eat out when we want, how does the cost of meals and drinks in Corsica or Sardinia compare to Greece or Turkey? You kind of covered that a bit. Do you want to say any more on that, Jill?
I don't actually know. I've not been to Greece. I have been to Turkey many moons ago, but yeah, I don't actually know about the prices of anywhere else. Just that, you know, you will pay more, slightly more than in the UK. But I mean, it's possible to have you know, good value meals like those set menus. They do like a set menu in especially in Corsica, and also if you're eating pizzas and things. But yeah, the things to look out for is if you're ordering fish, you know, because sometimes they charge by the kilo, so you just need to watch out for that. But yeah, I would say it is more expensive than the UK, but not wildly more expensive.
Yeah, and as a holiday destination, for me, having been to both, it is more expensive than Greece and Turkey, but not hugely. Probably 10%, I would say, something like that. So it is a bit more expensive, but not shockingly.
Right.
Peter says the Tremblia train was indeed very useful. The main railway from Ajaccio was a stunning trip, especially the branch line from Calvia. So Peter saying how fab it is. I stay just outside Olbia and managed without a car. There is a bus service that runs to one of the main beaches and public beaches. Okay, particularly the buses. So again, somebody else saying how fab it is. Somebody else explored by public transport. Great question here. Do any of the hotels offer all-inclusive in either Corsica or Sardinia?
No. No, so we don't have any all-inclusive hotels in either destination. It's all about eating out. I think we had one all-inclusive a couple of years ago, and then we sort of took it off because people just didn't want that type of thing in these destinations. Our customers anyway. That will, you know, it's not something that we do. We want people to sort of get out there and explore and spend their money locally.
I think one of the things that having been is that the thing that strikes you about the destination is it's classy. And when you go for an evening out, it is splendid and one of the highlights of the holiday. So we barbecued probably about half and half. Half the time we barbecued and the other half we went out for an evening meal because that was part of the experience. We absolutely loved it. And it's just got a lovely place, just got a lovely vibe. Costa Smeralda was amazing. Really lovely vibe to the place.
Yeah.
Right, Jill, I'm going to put you on the spot now.
Go on.
I'm going to ask you to say your best hotel in both islands and why.
Yeah. And
your must-see or must-visit place in the two islands. There we go. So 4 questions in total.
Okay.
The hotel you would go to and why in each island, and also the place that's the absolute God, you must go there if you do nothing else.
Okay, so I would say in Corsica, I really loved that Hotel La Pinarello, you know, the one with the rooftop swimming pool right on the beach, because it just had some really lovely restaurants right outside the hotel. It just had a really nice vibe, and the rooms, you know, you could get a room that overlooked the water, but you weren't far from Portovecchio, and I absolutely loved Portovecchio when we went there. So that would probably be my favorite hotel there. Sardinia. Now I have to say, and one thing I didn't say, because people always ask me, you know, which do you prefer, Corsica or Sardinia? And honestly, I can't actually choose between the two. But for me, you know, Sardinia is more geared up for kids, and I've got 2 children, so that's why. But Corsica has, I would say, some really amazing villas and then some great hotels. But Sardinia, the hotels are incredible. If you want spa hotels, they've got a whole load of spa hotels, and you know, I mean, like serious spa hotel, you know, lovely treatments, all you know, they're fantastic. So there are loads. I've got loads of hotels in Sardinia, but 2 of my favourite are Relay Villa di Golfo, which was that one in Canagione, because the food was amazing there. I loved Canagione, and you can walk into Canagione, and they've got some fantastic rooms there with private pools and things. And also Gabbiano Azzurro, which is in Golfo Aranci, and again, a really lovely hotel right on the beach, and you can walk out to the shops and restaurants there. So they're probably my favourite hotels, but honestly, there's so many. And villas as well. There's loads of really nice villas. But favourite places, my favourite place in Sardinia was going on that boat trip in Calaganone from central Sardinia. And I think because when I saw that I was going to central Sardinia, I was just kind of thinking, oh, it's going to be a bit boring. And, you know, I wasn't overly excited about going there. I was excited, but, you know, I didn't, it blew me away, basically. It really blew me away. And I'd never seen anything like those beaches there, and the scenery was just spectacular. So that for me was, you know, one of the highlights. Corsica, See, I love Calvi. I really love Calvi because everything, you know, you've got everything there. So you can go and do, you know, have a bit of culture and go and walk up to the Citadel. You've got the beach. You've got the beautiful marina. I do like to sit out and enjoy my food and my wine. And there's, you know, some lovely places there. So Calvi is one of my lovely favorite places, but also Corte as well. Again, that was another place where I was kind of blown away by the scenery there.
Very good answers, and difficult, because, you know, great destinations, you know, wonderful beaches, never mind all the other scenery and things you can see, just top destinations. I guess one of the things for people watching this is, blimey, Jill's got me so excited. Should I be booking this immediately for this summer? My advice to you is, at the moment, no. I think just wait, you know, literally, I think it's 7 weeks today, the 12th of April, when the next announcement from the Global Travel Task Force will spell out what's going to happen for summer. So I think it's highly likely that destinations will open from the 17th of May in the Mediterranean. Will they include Corsica and Sardinia? Possibly. We don't know. So at the minute, sit on your hands and don't do anything for this summer. But what I would say is, get booking for 2022, because, you know, the prices are going to rise very, very strongly, because there is so much demand, because people haven't had a holiday for 12 months, exactly 12 months. And so there's huge levels of demand. And so do get out there and look to book for later this year into next year, because that's where the opportunity is to get in before prices rise. I mean, Jill, in terms of pricing for next year,
unfortunately we're not on sale for next year yet. We're concentrating on this year. I don't know when they're planning on launching 2022 at the moment, but what I would say about this is, you know, start planning now. You know, like Miles says, wait a few weeks, but you know, start having a look at where you want to go, especially if you want to do like a multi-center. You know, start making those inquiries with your agent, and doing a little bit of reading about the different areas, and you know, take your time, because that's half the excitement of a holiday, isn't it? Is you know, doing all your research and looking into it. So, and if it doesn't happen this year, then yeah, you know exactly what you want for next year. And as soon as I hear what's happening, you know, when we're going to go on sale with next year, then obviously your agent will let you know.
Yeah, and we can obviously, if anybody's interested in inquiring for next year, please do it now, because we can take your details and we can start putting together itineraries or various options for you ready, and book them immediately they go on sale, because that is the time to, at the moment, with the current environment we've got, that's the smart move. I booked 2 holidays last night for myself for 2022, both of them family holidays, because I want to get them in the bag before the prices rise, as we see things escalate over the summer with travel opening up.
Yeah, and also you need to think about the fact that, you know, we have a lot of holidays that have rolled over from last year, people that couldn't travel last year that have moved their holidays to this year. So, you know, if you've got somewhere in particular, especially if it's a villa that you want to stay at, then, you know, best move quickly.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Jill, thank you very, very much for this morning.
No problem.
Very comprehensive, to say the least. Please, obviously, phone your shop if you're interested in either of these exciting destinations. They pull together itineraries and book them with Serenity and with Jill. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Hope you enjoyed that sunshine, and that final slide that Jill had up on there really puts us all in the mood for a holiday, I think. So thank you much, everybody. Take care. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.